What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Grim here with Outside MTG with special guest Combat Chuck.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And today, we're going to kick off our limited set review, starting it off with white, because you know, Wooberg order. Got to start with the W. And before we get into it, we'll talk about the grading scale. We're keeping it simple, just A through F. If it's an A, it's a bomb. Pack one, pick one, no questions asked. B's, great cards, generally really solid removal, awesome creatures, whatever. C's are going to be what the majority of your deck is. They're good cards, they're playable. Everything can't be A's and B's. D's are cards that are either build around cards that, you know, maybe synergize with what you're doing, but more often than not, they're going to be like that 23rd card where you just need one more card. And just stay away from F's. Just never play F's. You'd rather just play an 18th land than play an F. But with that being said, let's kick it off. First one we got up here, Basri Ket, Planeswalker. Double white, one other. Comes down with 3 loyalty, +1. You gotta put a 1/1 counter on up to one target creature. It gains indestructible to end of turn. Not bad. -2. Whenever one or more non-token creatures attack this turn, you create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. And for -6, which you can get there, 4 turns, you can hit that ult. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, and then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control.
This is a good card. This is obviously something that you want to use in an aggro build, kind of low to the ground, get in there with some little guys first, and then kind of build momentum on turn 3 and turn 4 with this guy, and hopefully have your opponent dead or turn 5 or 6 with the right build on this. You know, I'm giving this card a B. This is a really good card. You know, I don't think it's a bomb or anything like that. It's not just going to come down to win you the game, but it's a lot of gas for the engine to just keep burning strong.
Now, and green-white does have a 1/1 counter synergy, but I'm definitely with my colleague here. I'm also going with B. It's a solid card. I mean, you see it in your first pack, take it. Next up, we have Mangara the Diplomat, another mythic rare from the set. White and 3 others get you a 2/4 human cleric with lifelink. And whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you or a planeswalker you control, draw a card. Not terrible. And whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. Card advantage is nice. I'm kind of feeling the card. I mean, a white and 3 others for a 2/4 lifelinker isn't amazing, but they're going to attack you. It is what it is. That's how you win games unlimited. You turn sideways with creatures.
Yeah, you know what? This card on turn 4, this is going to buy you some time. With the big butt on it, having a 4 toughness, you know, it can get in there. It can take some blocks. It can draw you some cards. It can allow you to stall long enough to get to some of your bigger bombs in your deck that you may have. You know, it's, for me, I'm thinking with a card like this, this is a, I'm going to say this is a C. This is a solid card. You know, it's not over the top or anything, though. It's card advantage. I mean, that's important.
Black-white does have the whole life gain aspect. I'm willing to give it a B right now. I could definitely be wrong about that. But we're going to split on this one, B and a C. Maybe it falls somewhere in between. We'll have to play with it, though, to really get a better feel for it. The next one's an old one, but one everyone should be familiar with. Baneslayer Angel. 2 whites, 3 others. Get you a 5/5 flying, first strike, life-linking angel with protection from demons and dragons. That's A. No questions asked.
Yeah.
A.
This thing, if they don't have an answer and you untap with it, it's
game.
bad news bears for your opponent. This thing is just awesome. Pack one, pick one. Take this thing.
Yeah, no questions asked. Got to be one of the best bombs in the format. Next up, we got Basri's Lieutenant. White and 3 others. Get you a 3/4 human knight. It has vigilance. It has protection from multicolored. There's not a lot of multicolored cards in the set, so that won't be relevant too often, but hey, take extra keywords. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, and whenever this card or another creature you control dies, if it had a 1/1 counter, you get a 2/2 white knight with vigilance. And again, with the 1/1 counter synergy, I'm feeling it.
Yeah,
I like this card.
This is a B for me.
Yeah,
I like
day.
I like this. I mean, a 3/4 for 4, and just tons of upside on this.
Yeah, like just value for days.
Yeah,
like a 3/4 for 4 with vigilance is already a playable card.
This thing's got a nice ceiling to it. I would definitely play this for sure.
Next up, we got Containment Priest. First time it's going to be standard or modern or pioneer illegal. It's a white and 1 other for a 2/2 human cleric with flash, and if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. More often than not, that extra line of text probably isn't going to be relevant. So it's just kind of, do you want a 2/2 human with flash?
I mean, that on its, if you look at it in that regard, a 2/2 of flash, that's not bad. It's
playable.
It's not bad. It's playable. You're not going to be able to take just full advantage of this card's entire possibilities that it can come with. This is a constructed card. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's trying to stop reanimator type stuff from taking place in the game. So, but with that being said, a 2/2 with flash. If you're in an aggro build, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm doing it. I'm playing the card.
I've played a number of just 2/2s for 2 with no abilities just to fill the curve. So I mean, hey, with flash, I'm down.
And you know what? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun to tell somebody you got in with the beats with your containment
Right?
priest. That's gonna be a cool story.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I give it a C. Like, it's playable. You're not super excited
C.
about it, but it's playable.
See, I agree with it.
Next up, we got Glorious Anthem. 2 whites, 1 other. Gets you an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1.
This is good. You need a lot of early drops for
sure.
creatures in order for this thing to get viable. This is not a card you want to see late in your sealed game. By then, I mean, it could do something. It's kind of a build-around card for sure.
It is a reprint, but I've never played limited in a set that had it. I think it's probably a D on average, but if you're really, really going wide, I can see a C for this. Like a C build around, but probably a D on average.
I think if you've got a right amount of 1 and 2 drops, and your deck is heavily stacked towards, low to the ground, I'm going to give it a build around B. But if those conditions aren't met, I'm going to say this is a D.
Yeah, if you're just like a mid-rangey deck just trying to curve out and go up the curve, it really won't do a ton for you. Next up, we got a weird one. It's an artifact, but it is a white card. It's Idol of Endurance for a white and 2 others. When Idol of Endurance enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until Idol of Endurance leaves the battlefield. For a white and 1 other, you can tap it until the end of turn. You can cast a creature spell from among the cards exiled with Idol of Endurance without paying its mana cost. Again, I feel like this falls into a similar camp as Glorious Anthem. I mean, it being an artifact, it's not going to be easily removed and limited more often than not, so...
And turn 3, it comes down and it essentially does nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know. Turn 3's a pivotal turn
for sure.
in limited.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
just in
when
Magic.
Just in Magic in general. But I don't know. I don't like not doing anything on turn 3.
Agreed.
I mean, yeah, you can play some stuff for free, like pseudo card advantage later on, but and you're in white too with it, which. Yeah, this is a D for me.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that one.
I'm going with D also. Like, maybe it's pack 3, pick 8 and it's there and you have a bunch of cheap stuff, sure, but yeah, I'm going D as well. Next up, we got a weird one in the form of 9 lives. Double white and 1 other, get you a hexproof enchantment. If a source will deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. And whenever it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game.
That card's silly.
Yeah, like it's an interesting card. I'll give it that.
That card is silly. So typically for me in limited, I don't like cards that are gimmicky, and I sure as heck don't like cards that say I lose the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of opposed to that line of text myself.
Because in limited, crazy things can happen. Sometimes it feels like they're crazier than just constructed games as far as the jankiness involved with them. I could see myself losing with this card. I really could. 100% could see myself losing with this.
I'm personally going to say D, maybe even F. Just stay away from this card. But
how would it feel that your opponent just toys with you? You have no creatures on board. They've killed everything, and they're just poking you. For 9 times until you're dead. That's an F.
Yeah, I'm staying away from it.
I'm not doing it. Silliness, not doing it.
Next up, we have the Pack Leader. White and 1 other, gets you a 2/2 dog. Other dogs you control get +1/+1, and whenever Pack Leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. Not other, all. So it does count itself in this. And there is a fair amount of dogs in this set. Like, I feel like on average, this is probably just a C, but...
Right, it's a 2/2 for 2. Yeah. That's what it is.
That doesn't take combat damage when it attacks.
Yeah. But in later game, that means
It's just nothing.
nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
it literally is it turns into a chunk blocker really quick. Um, build around B.
Yeah, if you can get
Build
if
around
you, if
B.
you can get a bunch of dogs, it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Otherwise, this is a D. It's not doing much.
Yeah,
It's vanilla. It's practically. It's almost.
Yeah.
This is like vanilla with maybe some sprinkles. Just tiny, a little bit of sprinkles on top, but not much.
Yeah, you convinced me. Yeah, it's a D. You'll play it if you have to, but it does have a lot of upside if you can get the build around going for it. Next up, we got Ruined Halo, another reprint. Double white, gets you an enchantment. What is it? As it enters the battlefield, choose a card name. You have protection from the chosen card name. Can't be targeted, can't be dealt damage by, all that good stuff. But in limited,
This is.
it's
Don't feel bad about putting this in your sideboard in a limited game. Okay, if in game one,
it's sort of like a really bad pacifism, but they can still block.
yeah. Let me see this card again. So you have protection from the. Okay. If they've just got a bomb that just destroys you in game one, and you just so happen to have this card in your sideboard, maybe this is not something you would main board whatsoever, because you obviously have no clue what you're going up against with your opponent on this. I mean, it's a dead card for the most part.
Yeah, like I'm giving it an F, a sideboard D grade.
It's an F. I mean, it's even in the sideboard game, this thing's
it's not great. It's an awesome card in general for constructed, but I would probably just avoid it in limited.
Agreed. You're not happy to see that for sure. And that's a rare.
That's a rare.
Oh yeah. I hope you guys don't pull that in your pre-releases.
Next up's kind of a weird one. Speaker of the Heavens. For 1 mana, you get a 1/1 with Vigilance and Lifelink. So, I mean, hey,
Yeah, okay.
1 mana, 2 keywords. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, for sure.
You can tap it, though, and create a 4/4 Angel token with Flying, but you can only activate the ability if you have at least 7 more life than your starting life total, and you can only do it at sorcery speed.
Dang. So this is awesome.
It's definitely a build around.
But this is a hardcore build around.
Yeah.
I mean, the setup cost on this is incredible. What are the chances that you actually get that to go off?
Black-White does have a life gain sub-theme. I mean, I feel like if you can really, really build around this guy, I'm talking really build around it, it could be a very high B, low A, but...
Yeah, like the heavens split open, and every card in all 6 packs were leading you towards this. But no, don't. This card.
I mean, it's a C on average. It's still for 1 mana. You get a Vigilance with life.
Yeah.
2 keywords. I like it. It's good for your low to the ground strategy as well. We got 1/1 counters.
Yeah.
I give it a C, but if you can get that build around, this will just win games.
But don't force it early. Don't do it. Like,
I'm gonna force it early at some point. Next up, we have Angelic Ascension. White and 1 other, instant speed, exile target creature or planeswalker. Its creator creates a 4/4 white angel token with flying. I do like the fact that you can tag your own stuff with this, and it's instant speed. You can ambush. Just, hey, here's my 4/4 angel.
I feel like that's really the best way to play it.
Yeah, unless your opponent just has some crazy bomb out there.
Yeah, in limited, you could kill yourself with this card. A 4/4 flyer. I mean,
yeah, you're probably trying to target one of your own.
I mean,
creatures
how
more
many
often than
games
not.
of limited have you won with a Sarah Angel?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You
That
know, I
card's
mean,
impressive.
that's what you're saying, opponent. Here, have a Sarah Angel.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think if you're going to play this, you need to be prepared to use it on yourself.
Yeah.
And do some combat tricky stuff. You know, maybe
come up-
catch them off guard.
Yeah, hey, you could even come up, grab a chump block in response, exile your own dude, prevent the damage. Now you got a 4/4 flyer. Time to race. I like it.
Yeah. You could step on the gas with it if you wanted to, or be defensive. I like it. There's a lot of flexibility in that, but just use it on yourself.
Yeah, unless you're removing some crazy bomb, you definitely use it to upgrade one of your own creatures. I'm not sure how I want to rate that one. Like, it'd be an instant speed and cheap, but kind of.
It's a combat. I'm looking at it as it's a combat trick. So it's a very good combat trick.
Yeah, like it's definitely somewhere on the BC borderline.
I'm playing
Probably
this card. I'm playing this
I'm
card.
definitely playing it also.
This is a C for me.
Yeah, like it's probably a really, really high C.
Yeah, high C, almost a B, but you know, I'd like to reserve that for something a little bit better than just a removal spell.
Uh-oh. And now, Gilded Goose isn't alone in the world, because we got the Aven Gaggle Master. It's a big old goose itself. Double white, 3 others, get you a 4/3 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature you control with flying. Which blue-white, that is their archetype in this one, is blue-white flyers. Like, I'm feeling it.
Wow, this is a 4/3 for 5 flyer. That's good.
Yeah, with an ETB.
With an ETB.
Like, bare minimum gains you 2? Yeah. With bare minimum gains you 2 life, I'm playing that card.
Yeah.
Like, even if I'm not in a flyers build, I'm playing that card. Even like black-white life gains down for this card.
And make sure when you play it, you have to say the goose is loose.
Oh, for sure. If they mess with the honk, they will get the bonk.
Let them know. Let them know.
Yeah, I am 100% playing this card. It's not the end of the world. I don't know. I might be willing to. I'm willing to give this a B. Like, it works with 2 different archetypes that are out there right now. It has evasion, 4 power in the air. I like the card.
I also like it. High C for me. High C, low B. For a B, I would like for it to come in and maybe have a little bit better ETB than just possibly
Sure.
gain, some more life.
Sure.
I'm looking at it mainly from the perspective of just being a 4/3 flyer for 5.
Yeah, no, same.
So
Yeah,
I'm going to go with the C, high C.
it just got the extra bump for me because it fits into 2 different archetypes that are out there.
Yeah.
But are you in that archetype? If you're green-white,
Yeah.
then the gain life doesn't really
It's
matter.
still a 4/3 flyer, and on turn 5 when you're playing this, you're swinging it on turn 6. Hopefully you're winning on turn 6 with this card.
Yeah.
If you've got some flyers, you've been getting in there for some early damage. This could be the straw that breaks your opponent's back.
Yeah.
I'm going. I would play it. See.
Next up, we got Basri Solidarity. White and 1 other. Sorcery speed. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. If it was an instant, it would be so much better as a combat trick. But it being sorcery speed, you've got to let your opponent know it's coming. I mean, if you're in a deck where you're looking to play Basri Ked himself, you love this card. And green-white does have the whole 1/1 counter sub-theme archetype going on, but I think on average I'm giving the card a D just because it moves at sorcery speed. If it was an instant, I'd be way more into it.
You would almost want to just play this on turn 3 and no later than that, and hope that your opponent doesn't have anything on board. I mean, that's possibly where it's going to be most effective.
Yeah.
If you're trying to play this late game.
I will say if you're in like the go wide red-white strategy or just green-white counters, I love the card then. I mean, I give it a solid C then. I'm all for it. But on average, I just feel like the card's going to be underwhelming.
Yeah, I'm with you. If it was instant speed, I'd be about it. I'm going to give that a D. I'm not feeling it too much.
And next up, we got a returning reprint that's always been awesome. White and 3 others for Face Fetters. It's an aura, and you can put it on any permanent, anything. And whenever it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. And the enchanted permanent can attack, block, and its activated abilities can be activated unless they're mana abilities. Like, this will even shut down planeswalkers. Like, I love this card.
It's premium removal.
In a weak pack, I could see myself taking this pack one, pick one.
That's a B for me.
Yeah, I'm giving it a B also.
That's all around removal, and it's gaining you life.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's because let's think here. What was the black Vraska's Contempt, right?
Yeah.
That exiled a creature, and you would gain 2 life.
It can tag a planeswalker too, which adds in this.
So for the same amount of mana, we can tag anything, just like Vraska's Contempt, but we're gaining 4 mana on top of that. Now, granted, it is an enchantment; it can be removed, but this is limited. This is limited. This is incredible.
Yeah, I am about it. Yeah, B.
Yeah, solid B.
Next up, we got Falconer Adept. For a white and 3 others, you get a 2/3 human soldier, and whenever it attacks, you create a 1/1 bird creature token with flying that's also tapped and attacking. It's not bad.
This is decent in an aggro build.
Yeah, like it goes with your red-white go wide. It works with blue-white flyers. That's not even bad in the green-white counters deck either, I suppose. Like, I like the card. I'm not in love with the card.
Yeah, it's not amazing. It's nothing to write home about, but it's a solid C.
Yeah, you definitely play this card if you got it.
You're putting this in your deck for sure.
Next up, we got Griffin Airy. White and 1 other for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. It's alright.
It's a build around B.
Yeah.
For 2 mana, you get this enchantment?
Yeah, like, I'd give it a D on average. I mean, honestly, it's an F if you're not a life gain deck.
Agreed.
Yeah, like it's just it's going to be unplayable in a number of archetypes. But you know what? If you can get some life gain going, I play the card.
This is to grind. This is a grindy card. You know,
Yeah.
you got to be like built to grind. Possibly a black-white deck. I'm thinking to really take just full advantage of this type of card in a mono-white build. I don't think you're really going to get the most out of it.
Yeah, and even with it producing flyers.
Yeah.
Blue-white flyers doesn't want it. I think you play this in black-white. You don't take it early in a draft. But if it's in your sealed pool, you got some good black-white, you can gain a bunch of life, maybe.
Yeah, slowly drain and gain type thing with this. Just grind them out. This is a D.
Yeah, like I say, even in the decks that want to play it, I'm still not super
build around C.
Yeah, it's not an amazing card. Don't get too caught up on it. Next up, for a white and 3 others, we got Light of Promise. It's an aura. Whenever enchanted creature has, whenever you gain life, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature. Like, that's a cool effect.
So it turns them into a Johnny's Pride Mate.
It turns them into a better version of Pride Mate.
Yeah.
For each life you gain, it gets that many counters.
Yeah.
That's cool, but I don't know. Personally, I don't like auras. It's just begging to get 2 for 1.
2 for 1. It happens so often in a limited environment. I tend to steer away from them, but
this is a powerful aura, but an aura all the same. I'm giving it a D. You'll play it if you need a 22nd, 23rd card, but I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, this is not Theros we're on anymore. So getting 2 for 1 is a very real thing. And Theros, it wasn't a big deal. Everybody was doing it. It's just a risk. It was just a risk you had to take in that pre-release environment. But we're not in Theros anymore.
No.
Don't do that. That for me, that card there.
I gave it a D.
D. Filler if you had to.
Like, it's not a horrible 23rd card. Next up, we have Sanctum of Tranquil Light, one of the new legendary shrines. For a white and 5 others, you can tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. F.
F-bomb. F-bomb for sure.
Don't get it wrong. At some point, I'm probably going to try to force 5-color shrines and do horrible and regret my decisions in life. But if it works just once, I'm down.
That's something you do on a Reno for free when you're not paying any money. But if you paid your money to sit down at the table at your LGS, don't do that.
Stay away from it.
You just want to give wins away, and you could, I guess, go for it.
Yeah, a white and 4 others to tap something down, not worth it.
It's an F.
Next up, we got Seasoned Hollow Blade. For a white and 1 other, you get a 3/1. Not bad. You can discard a card, and it gains indestructible until end of turn.
That's legit.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bad Adonto Vanguard, but bad Adonto Vanguard's still pretty good.
That's in the right build. That is outstanding. It's got to be an aggro build. This isn't a card you grind with. Because you're not going to last with you discarding cards for sure.
Yeah, but I've had many an aggro deck where I was down to just to play a vanilla 3/1 for 2 just to get in for them early beats. Like, if you're an aggro deck all day, for sure, it's a C.
Yeah, I'd play this card. It's good.
Next up, we got the Selfless Savior. For 1 white, you get a 1/1 doggo. And it has the ability Sacrifice It. Another creature you control gains indestructible till end of turn. It's playable.
It's very playable.
Like, if you have anything you're looking to protect, which I'm sure there's at least 1 card in your limited pool that you're about, I like it.
Yeah, this is, you're about to win. Hopefully your opponent doesn't have a removal spell, but hey, even if he does, the doggo's going to take care of me.
And it's a dog, so you got a little tribal upside potentially. I'll give it a C.
That's man's best friend right there.
I'm happy to play it. I'm never going to pack one pick on it, but it's definitely playable.
That's C.
Yeah, I'll give it a C.
For sure.
Next up, we got the Siege Striker. White and 2 others for a 1/1 human soldier with double strike. And whenever it attacks, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. Siege Striker gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature tapped this way.
Whoa!
That's an interesting card.
This card here. Wow.
Citizen Training is in this set. If you can get Citizen Training on this guy, give him Trample. It's kind of gross.
This guy is one keyword away from being a rare, by the way. If this thing had haste, holy crap.
Yeah, if it had haste, we're doing it.
This is a bomb if it had haste, but it doesn't, so... this thing's awesome, guys.
Yeah, it's all right. I kind of like it. I hate to just keep saying C to cards, but...
I don't know. Is this a B?
If you can go wide enough and you do find yourself in a board stall with somebody, you can just tap a couple of creatures, force them to block it, and just eat one of their dudes every turn.
Not only that, but this is a card that can get out of hand. You know, it's not something that you can let just kind of hang around on a board.
And you know what? It doesn't care if your creatures have summoning sickness either. So even your new creatures entering do get to help this guy out. It is pretty good.
This thing,
that's pretty good.
It demands an answer. You know, the longer it's on the board, the worse it's going to get for your opponent.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
like this card. I'm going with B on this for sure.
I'm sticking with C for now, but my mind could definitely be changed. There are some decent tricks in this set, maybe. It does have double strike. Double strike is one of the most terrifying keywords ever. So I don't know. I'll have to see. Get some play time in with it.
It's a 1/1 double striker that doesn't require enchantments or pumps. It's almost like you can't get 2-for-1s with it, and you can just pump this thing.
Yeah, and in limited, you do tend to play more creatures than anything. It's really.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, it could be pretty awesome.
Interesting to see how that plays out. We'll have to come back to you on that one. You know, I could be wrong. That card could just suck.
No, I could definitely be wrong too. This could end up being one of those cards where I'm not super impressed, and then I lose 8 games of limited to that card by itself.
And we're thinking back, hey, remember when we thought this was cool?
Yeah. Next up, we got Tempered Veteran. For a white and one other, you get a 1/2 Human Knight. For 1 white, you can tap it and put a 1/1 counter on target creature that already has a 1/1 counter on it. And for double white and 4 others, you can tap it to put a 1/1 counter on target creature. On average, I'm not into this.
What's the power and toughness on that?
1/2.
1/2.
Yeah, I'm giving it a D on average, but if you are in like that green-white 1/1 counters matter theme, I like it a lot. But I think you definitely you have to already be in the archetype that's trying to do the 1/1 counter thing.
You know, there's something to be said for late game mana dumps and limited.
Oh, for sure, but for 6 mana, I want more than a 1/1 counter.
Agree. You're definitely not getting this out of the bargain bin for sure. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm probably not going to play this card. It's a D. I'll fill it in if I've got to, if I'm just trying to. But
yeah, I'm staying away from this unless I'm in the green-white counters matter.
You know, and most of the time with late game mana dumps, I'm all about them. But you're right.
I want more than a 1/1 counter for 6.
Yeah, that's not very good. Yeah.
Next up, we have the Vryn Wingmare. For a white and 2 others, you get a 2/1 Pegasus with flying, and non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast.
All right, so the thing to keep in mind about this card is that's for everybody in this game. Okay?
It does affect you also. It is symmetrical.
Do not get caught up thinking this is just affecting your opponent, because that is not what you want to do. So, it's still a 2/1 flyer for 3.
And mind you, it's worth mentioning too, core sets tend to be a little bit slower of formats, with the exception of core set 19, where you could lose on turn 4. But this doesn't have the power of red-white aggro. It doesn't seem anyway in this core set. So it shouldn't be as fast. I'm kind of feeling a 3-mana 2/1 flyer.
Yeah, if you know what? If you were low to the ground and you were aggro, what stops you? Non-creature spells, right? That's what they got to slow you down so they can hang around long enough to get some bombs out. Okay, by putting this out there, you're taxing your opponent. I'm playing this. You know what? I'm saying it's a C.
Yeah, it's definitely playable. Like, you're not super excited about it. You're not going out of your way for it. But
if you're a super interactive deck, though, don't play
not.
this. This is an aggro build card.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
Even though it is a flyer, it might not even be great for the blue-white flyers, as they do have a number of good spells available to them. But like red-white or green-white, play this card.
Yeah,
give it a C. Next up, we got the Alpine Watchdog. Yet another doggo for that tribe. White and 1 others. Get you a 2/2 with vigilance.
Yeah, this creature, this dog, we've seen this skeleton many times.
It's a good curve filler.
It's a 2/2 vigilance. I mean, all types of creatures. I've seen knights. I've seen hex spiders. I think I've seen it all with 2/2 vigilance now. It's filler.
Yeah, like it's probably just a D. It will fill your curve if you need it to. It's better than a vanilla 2/2. It does work with the red-white multicolor card in this set, but good luck getting all that together.
This is a D.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a 23rd card. Like, you're missing. You need to fill something in low on the curve. It's a 2/2 for 2. Next up, we have Anointed. What is that word? Chorister? Do I just not understand this word?
I'm going with Chorister. Yeah.
Either way, for 1 mana, you get a 1/1 life linking human cleric, and for a white and 4 others, it's +3/+3 till end of turn. against one of those late game mana seeks we were talking about when you just have nothing else to do with
This
your
is a
mana.
good card.
I mean,
Decent.
there are a number of cards in this set that care. Did you gain 3 life this turn? If you're in that archetype, it's a C in that archetype, but I feel like it's probably just a D on average if you're not.
A D. Yeah.
But if you're in that archetype, I give it a C. Next up, we got another card coming from your boy Bosri, Bosri's Acolyte. And for 2 whites and 2 others, you get a 2/3 cat cleric with lifelink. And whenever it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. I'm feeling that. Like a 2/3 lifelinker for 4 is not great, but for a common, that's a pretty solid common. I'm about it. And like it works with the life gain archetype that's out here in black-white. It works with green-white counters, red-white go wide. Like, I'm feeling it. I like this card. I like this card a lot.
It's kind of I almost want to say like utility belt type creature. You know, it's not. It's I don't know.
It can't target itself with the counter, unfortunately. So it does want you to have other stuff in play. But for 4 mana, you'll have other stuff in play. You should.
You know, there are a lot sexier things to play for 4 mana, but that one's solid. I'm gonna give it a C.
Yeah, like I think I'm playing that card in most of my decks. I'll go with C as well. Next up, man, is Cleric Tribal just a thing in this set? For a white and 2 others, we got a Celestial Enforcer, 2/3 human cleric. For a white and 1 other, you can tap it to tap target creature. Activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. Like historically, the ability to tap things down and limit is awesome, but the restriction of having to have a flyer, like if this is just a 2/3 for 3, it's garbage. Like you don't even want to have this to fill your curve. If you're in blue-white flyers, I'm playing it. Like I'll give it a C in that build, but without it, this is D bordering on F.
It's really bad, really bad. Yeah. I'm gonna go D. And it's just because it's a 2/3 body. That's pretty much the only. If that was like a 1/2, or
it wouldn't even be playable at that point.
Just the body. It might be able to give you a blocker. This is something that you're trying to dirtle with.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, but blue-white flyers, I don't think is like a dirtly type deck. Like that's something you're trying to turn sideways with.
You can use it to get their flyers out of the way. Like I said, I think if you're in flyers, you play it. But I think that's the only.
Is it a side? I think it may be a sideboard card. Really,
maybe.
Yeah, I think that's right. Where you only want to see that thing is in your sideboard.
Yeah,
really.
So we're definitely landing on don't play this card.
Yeah.
Next up, a reprint Concordia Pegasus, white and 1 other, gets you a 1/3 flyer. It's alright. It's a Magic the Gathering card, technically.
Just barely.
Yeah, just barely. Yeah, this almost made it to Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic took it at the last minute. But if you're in blue-white flyers, I mean, sure, it's a flyer. It fills the curve. You're not excited to play this card even in blue-white flyers, but I'm going to give it a D. It'll fill the curve. It does have a keyword.
It kind of feels like you need to strap him up with something,
Yeah.
Put a saddle on this thing. Let's go to town. But by himself,
it's not awesome.
It's a D, maybe an F.
Yeah. Next up, for a white and 1 other, we got the Daybreak Charger. It's a 3/1 to kick it off.
Okay.
Like 2 mana 3/1s, and whenever it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. You know what this is? This is Cavalry Drill Master with an extra point of power.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
Cavalry Drill Master went hard.
Yeah, what was that, quarter?
That was 19.
19, dude.
Yeah, Cavalry Drill Master went extra hard.
Awesome, man. He allowed you to get in for 3 damage on turn 2.
It was.
Heck
yeah, I'm about this card in an aggro deck. This is a high C in an aggro deck. If you're trying to get low to the ground, turn sideways and get him, I assure you this is a card you want in your deck. It's a common. You're going to be able to find it.
This is C. High C.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're in an aggro build, do not underestimate this card. Next up, another reprint in the form of Defiant Strike. 1 white mana, instant speed. Target creature gets +1/+0 to end of turn. Draw a card. Not really super into it. I didn't like it the first time it came around. I don't really like it this time either. I kind of prefer my combat tricks to do a little bit more than just cantrip and give them +1. Like I'm going D on it personally.
Yeah, you know what would feel better? Another creature.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Like remember that Concordia Pegasus I didn't like? I'll play it over this card.
Yeah, I feel like you're much happier with just another creature here. This is a D.
Next up, we got Dub, another reprint coming back from Dominaria, I believe it was.
I believe so. Yeah.
White and 2 others, you get an aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has first strike, and is a knight in addition to its other types. The last time this was around, the knight part was actually relevant. It's not going to be relevant here. So really, it's just the enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has first strike for 3 mana. It's an aura. It's really risking getting 2 for 1, but I do like that it gives them a keyword. First strike is pretty good and limited.
This one's tempting, isn't it? Like
Yeah, it's definitely a card tempted. I consider.
So, like, if I have that Pegasus in this, it's like, now I may have something good, but then it just one kill spell and you feel bad.
Yeah, it's begging to get 2 for 1. I don't like getting 2 for 1. And limited card advantage is the name of the game, or in this case, a disadvantage.
Again, at 3 mana. There's some pretty good creatures you could just play here instead.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, give it a D. You'll play it as your 23rd card. It's all like, hey, I need one more white card. You're happy to have it then, but I wouldn't go out of your way to play it.
Yeah, if you come across an opponent and you just realize, like, they're super light on removal.
Yeah, sure, sideboard it in.
Yeah, sideboard it in,
Yeah,
go to town. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have some kind of removal.
Yeah. Next up, we got Feat of Resistance, white and 1 other, instant speed. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. I like it. Well, I like it a lot more if you're in the 1/1 counters matters camp.
I don't know if I like this one. I think I like that maybe the creature, the 1/1 that you could sack for 1 white and give something protection. I think I like that card better than this one because while the creature's out there, it can be putting in damage too.
Yeah, this is true.
This
and it has a relevant creature type, where this is just a spell.
And it also had lifelink, so I think like you're definitely better in the creature archetype than this instant here. But I mean, again, you're getting 1/1 counter.
I mean, it can be a white counter spell. Like, you just dodge removal.
God's willing type thing here, plus a counter. You're getting a counter for 1 generic mana, and you're getting protection for 1 white, essentially, is the way you got to look at it.
I think I'd play this even if I'm not in the 1/1 counters deck, just as a white counter spell, dodge a removal spell, protect something. I like it. I give it a C.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a C, too.
And you know what?
You got to have something worth protecting here, though, too, I think, in my opinion. If you're a low-to-the-ground aggro deck, I think I'd be happier with just a creature getting in there. If you've got some bigger bombs that you're wanting to protect for late game, if you're trying to grind and stuff like that, I'm with this card.
I think this could also easily double as a removal spell in the middle of combat. Like, you have a 2/2, they have a 4/3, they swing at you. You give your guy protection from that thing's color. You take it down in combat. Your guy's still there. Just a 1 for 1.
There's some versatility here.
Like I think it's a C.
I'm with you.
I'll play it.
You're talking me into it more and more.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Gale Swooper. White and 3 others gets you a 3/2 Griffin with flying, and whenever it enters the battlefield, target creature gains flying until end of turn. It's alright.
So you're giving something that you dropped on turn 3 evasion.
Yeah. And this itself is a 3/2 flyer for 4, which
I like this card.
I think in a core set this is playable. Like, I don't think I'd want to play it in any of like a fast format, but in this format, because it looks like it'll be a little bit slower, I'd play it. It's not incredible. I'd play it.
It's a C.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I like the fact that it's giving your 3-drop evasion, so you're depending on if they had an early flyer drop or something like that. But in my mind, I want to say that, if you were on the play, especially, you got in there, you had a 1-drop, hopefully.
Yeah.
You played your 2-drop. Turn 3, you're getting them down. They're down maybe 6 life by that point in time on turn 3 when you drop this. I like it.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't have, Loyal Pegasus here where we can give something flying every time it attacks. This is probably the closest we're going to see to it in this set, so, I mean...
Loyal Pegasus. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I wrecked some face with that card.
Yeah, I remember that one time they made the mistake and made it a common, and then they made it uncommon after that for the future. Next up, we got Legion's Judgment coming back from Mixalon. White and 2 others, sorcery speed. Destroy target creature power 4 or greater. I mean, it's not premium removal, but red-green in this set does have the whole, power 4 or greater matters.
You're taking that card.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a B. It's sorcery. It's bad removal, but it's removal in white too. It's good removal in white. It's not enchantment-based removal.
I'm giving it a C personally. Like, it's not premium removal, but it's good. Like, so you are gonna play it if you got it.
3 mana.
Like, it's a very high C.
For 3 mana, I'm going. That's a C, maybe a B. I like it. I like it for 3 mana. If it was 4, I wouldn't be so much about it. But
Next up, we got Makeshift Battalion. For a white and 2 others, you get a 3/2 human soldier coming back from Ravnica. And whenever it attacks, and at least 2 other creatures, so you need to swing with a minimum of 3, gets a 1/1 counter. I'm about it. That's great in your go wide aggro deck. Like, it's not a bomb or anything. Don't go out of your way for it, but that's a really solid common. Like, I'm really about this in the go wide aggro strategy.
Yeah, that definitely. I'm seeing a trend here in the white. There's a lot of cards that are wanting to push you in that direction. So far, at least in our review of this, I feel like there's been more aggro cards than flying type scenarios. So yeah, if you've got white, that's what you're looking to do. That one I think's a C for sure.
Next up, we got Rambunctious Mutt. For double white and 3 others, you get a 3/4 doggo. So again, relevant creature type. And whenever it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls.
All right, first of all, the artwork is outstanding.
Yeah, no.
If you guys haven't seen this, go check it out.
Yeah, the dog is adorable. Look at it. Look at it. He's adorable.
So I'm feeling the artwork on it. Yeah, he's a 3/4 for 5.
Like, I'm not super into that. I mean,
you know what I think? I think he's a sideboard card.
Yeah, like it's cool that it could potentially be main boardable artifact enchantment hate, but I don't think it's going to be relevant often enough to care about it. I mean, I agree. It's a sideboard card.
I haven't seen any enchantments or artifacts so far. I know we're pretty young into this review so far, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, that just screams remove me or lose the game.
And something tells me if your opponents are playing shrines, you're going to be fine anyway. So
yeah, it's a great sideboard card to have at your disposal, though. Just in the off chance your opponent does have something going on, great sideboard card. But yeah, not great for your main board. Next up, we got another reprint, Revitalize, white and 1 other, gain 3 life, draw a card. Even in the life gain archetype, hard pass. F.
You don't like this card,
I don't like it.
I don't know. I've always seemed to like this card a little bit.
You know what?
If
I have enough payoffs that want me to gain 3 life each turn, I'm down to play it. That's the only way I'm playing it, though. I need, I'm talking 3+ cards that care if I gain life this turn. Otherwise, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cantrip. Then you gain 3 life for 1. I don't know. I've had some good times with that card.
I mean, don't get it wrong. I've had people do awful things to me with it, but I'm not
a
about
D.
it.
Look, I'll face him. It's a D. It's a D. But it's a white card draw spell.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like it, because there's not that many of those.
Man, next up, this is a card I totally missed during spoiler season. Secure the Scene. For a white and 4 others, you get a sorcery. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white soldier creature token. I mean, 5 mana sounds like a lot for removal, but in limited it's really not. And this tags anything, and it exiles it. Like, yeah, they get a 1/1 out of the deal, but I'm playing it.
I feel like this is premium removal.
Yeah,
at the common spot too, mind you.
Yeah, which is kind of wild. It's going into every white deck I play.
Yeah, that's a B.
Like, even in aggro, I'm still gonna play it. Like, it's auto include. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a low B grade, but it exiles and it can tag anything. That's kind of ridiculous. Next up, we got Swift Response, otherwise known as Take Vengeance, and that 1 other card with the exact same name, but for a white and 1 other, you get to destroy target tap creature, but unlike all those other ones, this one's an instant. Like, I'm down. I'm calling that premium removal. 2 mana, instant speed, destroy target tap creature. Deal. I'll take it.
That's a B.
I'm playing this in every deck that has white. No questions asked. Yeah, B.
That's incredible.
Like, this is pack 1. You could pack 1, pick 1 this in a weaker pack. All day, no problem. Next up, we have Valorous Steed. White and 4 others for a 3/3 unicorn with Vigilance. And when it enters the battlefield, you create a 2/2 white knight creature token with Vigilance. Like, that's not terrible. I mean, for 5 mana, you get 5 points of power over 2 bodies. They both have Vigilance. It's not an unreasonable card. It's definitely playable, especially if you're looking to go wide.
Yeah, this isn't the I gambled on the stock market and won big card. This is the I worked hard on the farm type card. It's solid. It's gonna put food on the table.
Yeah, but it ain't much, but it's honest.
Yeah, that's what that card is.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. Like, it's playable. Like, it's not horrible. Like, you're not going out of your way to take it, but you know what? If you're already playing it, this comes around to you, pick 12, deal. I will pack 1, pick 12 this card all day. And our final card in white today, we have Warded Battlements. White and 2 others, you get an 0/3 wall with Defender. and attacking creatures you control get +1/+0, which is kind of strange. Like, it's a card with a defender that wants to be in an aggro deck? I don't even know how I feel about this card, honestly. I feel like it's a D and I don't want to play it, but then again, if the go wide strategy is good enough, maybe I love this card.
So think of it this way. On turn 3, it comes down and does something, right? If you've got...
Yeah, I guess,
if you've got creatures already on board, let's say you got a 1/1, maybe you're lucky and you got a 3/1 on turn 2,
Yeah,
okay?
you are swinging for 6 on 3.
You're swinging for 6 on 3 with this.
Okay, maybe I could get behind this.
You know,
and I guess even late in the game, it's not bad. I don't know how I feel about this card.
you know, I almost... What do you think you like better? Would you like this wall or the wall that gives everything haste from the previous set?
I don't know. I think maybe
I'm
this
thinking,
one.
I'm thinking
one's
this
cheaper.
one.
Yeah,
I'm thinking this one for sure. In a
yeah.
limited environment, I think this one is
okay,
better.
maybe this card's not terrible. I don't know if it's a C, a D. It's somewhere in that range. Maybe
This is a card that we've got to play.
Yeah, like,
you know, I just don't know what to think about that thing. It could be devastating, especially if you're going up against an opponent that's kind of dirtily. I'm not going to do anything for 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah,
which does happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty
yeah, I've
commonly.
played many a game of Limited where it looks like a game of Commander where it's just land go. Oh right, I can finally do something.
Yeah, you know what? The more I talk about it, the more I'm liking this. But again, we'll have to get back with you on this one and tell you what we really think after we see it in action.
But hey, that's everything for white, and I don't know. It feels pretty good.
I'm feeling aggro-y off of white, just off everything we saw. You know, and not so much blue-white flyer support like I thought. I saw a lot of lifelink support type stuff.
Get my glow on. Look legit. Glow. I will say though, Baneslayer Angel looks to be the best white card in the set.
Oh,
like just. I mean, if we're keeping it real, it's probably one of the best cards in the set, much less in white. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up the white portion of the set review. Next, we'll get on to blue.
see you.